If there's one thing I get asked to do so much, it is a reptile room tour or a tank tour of each of my lizards. I've got some odd things in my room, including this. So if you like, you can sit back and relax and watch this reptile room tour. Okay, so firstly we are looking at Diego's vivarium. I'll say first of all that all the vivariums for the leopard geckos are wooden, 2 foot by about 1.5 feet. So in here he has a hide over the heat mat, which is this one. I actually got this one for £6, and it also came with jungle vine and plants, and he actually really loves to sit on top of it, but I do also find him inside it. His other hide is over here. This is his cool hide. Of course, leopard geckos generally sort of need a shedding, a moist hide, but that sort of can double up. Another thing I've just noticed is if you look here, this shows how much he's actually used this. This was all blocked. There's actually a hole down here and he's dug under, kicked a load out. But yeah, and then he's got his water bowl. And this, as many of you will know, is Diego. He is, when I last weighed him, 80 grams I believe. And as I said on Instagram, you know, I feed all my geckos the same amount of crickets, the same size crickets, and if they're naturally going to be big, they won't need too much food. You don't want to overfeed yours. So yeah, he is quite the beast. Okay, so what we got going on here is her calcium dish, because there's a chance she may be laying an egg. Once again, if you're new to this channel, she laid one earlier this year and it was obviously a dud because she's never actually bred with another leopard gecko, so there's a chance she might be having another one, but yeah, that's her little calcium dish. She has some fake plants along here. This came with this vivarium when I got it second hand when I first got her, so that's why I've got them. This is a resin log hide, which are really good when you really want to wash them off because they don't soak up all the water like wooden hides do. Then if we look to the middle section, here is her, what I would say is her moist hide. It's not moist at the moment, but I fill it up with a little bit of Eco Earth. It's an old cricket box with a hole in the front. Then her water bowl. And then in this corner, this is a cold corner. Now she has this, which is her little plant pot that she came home in because she was that tiny. So hidden away in here is a small coconut hide. Oh, and a cricket. Hello, cricket. A small coconut hide. And I was going to change that up with a slightly larger Exoterra hide, but she loves that and she like curls all the way around into it. So I'm not changing that at the moment. And here is Miss Gizmo. Oh, she is not feeling this today. It might be because of the light shining in here, but yeah, she's a high yellow cross with jungle. She's very camera shy today. Okay, so this is Minnie's vivarium. She turned 7 earlier this month. It's a very simple setup, and there is a reason for this. She was born with sort of an eye defect. I say born, she hatched, but you know what I mean. And so she sometimes struggles a bit more than others. Sometimes when feeding her, she'll catch every cricket absolutely perfectly, but other times she's not as successful. Now sometimes if she's not moving about too much, she won't bother opening one of her eyes. And you'll notice if you ever see her walk around in any of my other videos, she tends to lick things a lot more and dabs her nose on things, especially people. And I think that's just sort of her extra way of getting around. All of her hides are like actual caves. They're not like they're only a one-way sort of thing. And this is great if you have a gecko with like poor eyesight, because if a cricket runs in there, because they sometimes run under the hides, it won't be able to get out the other end, so she can sort of corner it and catch it. So she has this hide, which is designed for like aquariums, but is really good for her. She has a cricket hide like here, her water dish, which if you use substrate like me, they tend to kick they kick the substrate in the water dish, so I have to clean that. Calcium and coconut hide, but it's actually resin, and some fake plants. Well, if you're new to this channel and you have comments about eco earth, like the substrate I'm using, or lamps or heat lamps, and anyone who's subscribed to this channel will know why I'm saying this, is just like, don't comment about it, please. Just watch my other videos before you judge the situation. And there goes Minnie into her coconut hide. So first of all, we have a wooden log hide here. It actually has calcium on top. I think that came off of a cricket, but then I figured, you know, if she wants some, she can get some from there. So this is over the hot end. And over here is this Exoterra hide where you can just lift the lid off. It's actually a really good hide, really big, and she spends a lot of time in there. Her water bowl, which is so big, but once again she's put some dirt in there. And a fake plant, and I haven't got a moist hide for her in here because that definitely doubles up as a moist hide, and I don't tend to have any problems with my leopard gecko shedding. So even though she looks a little bit small, I guess, she's actually the heaviest out of my females. She's 53 grams when I last weighed her, which was about last week. Okay, and my fifth gecko is actually a crested gecko. She lives in a 60 by 45 by 45 centimetre tank. I have been over this tank so much in other videos as it's quite new, and I've only had her just over a month. Still, I have no name for her, which is really annoying. I don't know why it takes me so long. Okay, and here she is. One thing I will say is this is something I don't see very often in reptile videos, or people just don't really say it, is wash your hands between handling different reptiles. Even if they're of the same species, I never will handle like Gizmo and then go and handle Diego or something like that, just in case there's something they could pass on. They might seem healthy, but you never know. And especially if you have completely different animals, like Gizmo actually saw my crested gecko through her vivarium glass, and I think I mentioned this in something. You can jump? And she saw her through the glass, and she actually started doing her hunting face, which she would do when she sees a cricket, and she all of a sudden jumped at the glass like she was going to bite the crested gecko. And I've noticed, even if I wash my hands, if the crested gecko smell is still on, say, my clothes, if she's walked on my top and I get like Minnie out, Minnie goes crazy. She'll like flicker her tongue and then start slowly wagging her tail. She picks up the scent. And so when I just see people do these tours, and they just go and pick up, I don't know, like a turtle, and then they go for a snake, and then they go for some sort of lizard, and you're like, oh my goodness, that's just, you don't know what you could be spreading right now. So it's better to be safe than sorry. So this has been my reptile room tour. I hope you have found this interesting, and yeah, if you're not already, please subscribe. I am hoping to get 2,000 subscribers by October 15th, because that is when my channel turns 2. So all the 2s will be really great. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Don't worry.